the next activity I'm going to be talking about is the ninja walk activity. So this activity, you have to really know your class and the students in that class to know if this will be a good fit for them or not. This is an activity where everyone is going to be silently walking in a circle around the classroom in a specific style of walk, because the goal is to make not a single sound while moving in this lap around the classroom. So you really have to know your students and if this is something that they can handle, but there's a very specific form of walk to do this ninja walk, because the goal is to be so quiet, it's like we are ninjas moving through the room. So once again, this mindfulness activity really forces students to be aware of their body because they're trying to control their muscles to make sure that they aren't making noise that other students are hearing. And then it also, makes them more aware of what's going on around them, because if one of their classmates makes a noise, like maybe takes a step that is a little too loud, then they will register that sound. And so they're aware of themselves trying to be as quiet as a ninja, but then also really picking up on those sounds if another student makes one. So it's kind of focusing on two aspects, which can be really fun. But with this activity, you have to make sure it's with a class that can handle it, because it might be an activity that could cause certain students to get kind of more like riled up if all of a sudden, if they're trying to be a little more jokey by making a lot of noise, or if it starts off as an accident but they get a lot of laughs out of their classmates. So you really need to know your students first to see if this is something that they can handle. So here is an example of the ninja walk. So for the ninja walk, what you need to tell students is it's all going to be about how they put their foot down on the ground. So the important part is you want to place the heel first and then slowly roll to the front of their foot. So they're going to be walking around the classroom like this, very slowly, putting their heel down and rolling to the front of their foot, trying to be as quiet as possible. And once again, you gotta know your students to see if that's something they can handle. But it really causes them to focus on their own body and can be quite a cool activity for the class to do.
Mindful tasting is another mindfulness exercise that we do a lot. And I like to incorporate it in all of the lessons where we taste something. And so this is really about getting kids to slow down and engage with their eating with all 5 of their senses. So you'll take a food like a strawberry, and first you'll use your sense of sight. And I'll ask the kids how they would describe it. And I always really want them to use adjectives and describing words, because it helps build up their food vocabulary and helps them talk about food beyond good or bad. So it's red, it has tiny seeds, the seeds are yellow, it's not all the same color red, things like that. Like the leaves have a pattern to them, just really getting them to notice a lot of details. And then you can move on to touch. How does it feel? Is it bumpy or smooth, hot, cold? Sometimes if kids are having trouble thinking up words and like participating, I'll give them kind of like adjective opposite pairs and let them tell me like, oh, it's this, not that, because sometimes they can have trouble like thinking of like what the word is on their own. And then, so another one, sense of smell. So smell it. Does it smell fresh, cool, fruity? I don't know. And kids always come up with like really unique ways of like describing how something smells. Does it smell sweet, sour, all sorts of things. And then sound. So this one's always a little tricky. So usually what I'll do is we'll like tap it and see how it sounds. Like, does it sound hollow? Does it make a sound? Because like a strawberry would make a different sound than a marshmallow. So thinking of ways we would describe it. And then of course, eating it. I always save this one for last, because otherwise you can do the other ones. And then so then again, that also brings in how does it feel as you're eating it, and then how does it taste. And taste is an area where I really want the kids to like use their adjectives rather than just like, it tastes good, it tastes bad. Well, this tastes different than Cheetos, and both of them are good, so describe how this is good.
I always love to finish my lessons the same way. Kids love routine and consistency. So I always like to finish my lessons on a high note, doing a celebration that gets a little bit crazy, but I always bring the kids back using some mindfulness. So this is how my celebration goes. I tell the kids to be completely silent. I cannot hear anything. I should hear the people outside in the hallway talking, because everybody should be so quiet. And when all the students are quiet, what I do is I tell them the instructions, which are, when I say 3, and only when I say 3, not before, we're gonna scream 3 times really loud, ole, ole, ole. So, ready? And I say 1, 2, 3. But before we do that, also including the instructions, I tell them that after we say the 3rd ole, we have to be completely quiet. Like so quiet that they don't even know it was us who were screaming. So quiet that you can hear a pin drop in the room. So I go ole, ole, ole. Then all the students go quiet. And then I ask them to take 3 breaths. So breathe in and out. That way, they get to celebrate, they get to have some release, they get to do something fun, but they get to come back to a peaceful and calm state, so the teachers can enjoy them for the rest of the day. Thank you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I wish you the best of luck in your new food career in Flint. It's gonna be a lot of fun.